Good morning, friend. Welcome back in our lecture series of operation research subject. Lecture 1 is completed. Now today I am going to start the lecture number 2 of the chapter project management. Myself, Professor K.S. Banker, assistant professor in Government Engineering College, Modasa. Now before start the lecture number 2, I will discuss on recall or revision of lecture number 1. So we had discussed in lecture 1 about the project, definition of project. Project consists of interrelated activities and it must be completed within a certain time limit or available time and available resources. We had also discussed about examples of project, then real time example of project. We had also discussed about the real time example getting ready to attend the college, and we had divided this project into certain activities. Then we had discussed about project tools and techniques, then network analysis, that is CPM and PERT, means critical path method, and program evaluation and review technique. Then what is network diagram? Okay, so we had discussed about the network diagram, that network diagram is a graphical representation of activity and events. So network diagram consists of activities and event. There are number of activity and event are joined with each other in a logical sequence, that is our network diagrams. And at the end of lectures we had discussed about the rules of network construction. So there were certain rules to construct the network diagram. So we had already discussed about this. Now I am going to start the lecture number 2. In lecture 2, terms used in project management. The first topic is there are various terms. Okay, so first is project. So project consists of interrelated activities which are to be initiated or started in a certain order before entire task is completed. Now second terms is precedence relationship. As I told you, the activities are interrelated in a logical sequence which is known as precedence relationship. The activities, different activity are in a logical sequence is called precedence relationship. So through this figure you will easily understand what is precedence relationship. So in this figure consider the activity number C. So activity C can be completed, can be started when activity A is completed. So this is the precedence relationship between C and activity number A. Suppose consider the activity E. Okay, so activity E can be started when activity C is completed. Consider activity F. So activity F can only be started when activity D is completed. So this is called precedence relationship. Then dummy activity. This is most important activity you have to use in network diagrams, and dummy activity is an imaginary activity. Dummy activity is what? Imaginary activity, indicating only the precedence relationship, but the duration of a dummy activity is 0. Okay, here the dummy activity is there, but it is represented by a dotted arrow. And when dummy activity is required in a network diagrams, suppose consider the activity number D. So in example or in a given data, suppose the statement is like this: activity D can be started only the activity A and B are finished. Okay, but here activity A and B is not joined. That's why we have to connect the activity A and B through some dummy activity. Okay, so in this situation we have to draw a dummy activity, and dummy activity is represented by a dotted arrow. Okay, so again I am repeating this, and as and when a dummy activity is required, suppose there is a situation where the statement is that the activity D can only be started when activity A and activity B are finished. So before starting the activity D, activity A and activity B must be finished. So to accomplish this or to fulfill this, we have to join activity A and B. But in our network diagram there is no connection between activity A and B. So at that so in this situation we have to connect, or we have to join the activity A and B through a dummy activity which is represented by dotted line. And keep in your mind, the duration of dummy activity is 0. Now fourth one is successor activity. Successor activity. So through this diagram we will understand, suppose consider the activity C. Consider this activity. So for activity C, the activity E is the successor activity. Okay, so what is successor activity? A successor activity is an activity whose start or finish is controlled by start or finish of another activity. Okay, so simply keep in your mind that successor activity is what? Suppose consider activity C. So activity D is the successor activity of activity C. Now if consider the activity B. Okay, so this is D. So activity D is the successor activity of activity B. Okay, so successor activity is the activity which will start after completion of that particular activity. So activity C is the successor activity of activity A. Now predecessor activity. This is most important thing in drawing a network diagram. In always in example there are certain activities, and in another column there are certain some predecessor activities. Okay, so predecessor activity is what? Suppose consider again activity C. Consider activity C. So activity A is the predecessor activity of activity C. Consider activity E. Consider activity E. So activity here in our case activity C is the predecessor activity for activity E. Got it? So a predecessor activity is an activity whose start or finish controls start or finish of another activity. So here example is activity A, this one, activity A, this is the predecessor activity of activity C. Activity A is the predecessor activity of activity number C. Okay. Now critical path. In example you have to find out the critical path. So what is critical path? Critical path of a project is the longest path in the network diagram. Whatever network diagram is there, so in that particular network diagram the longest path is known as critical path. But there are certain criteria to decide the critical path. We'll see from in the next 2 or 3 slide. After next 2 or 3 slide, we will see what are the criteria to decide the critical path. Now, a path along the network in which earliest finish or earliest start and latest finish are equal is known as critical path and is represented by the double or thick arrow line in the network diagram. Okay, see in this network diagram, critical path is represented by this one. This is critical path. So that can be represented by a thick line like this. This is a network diagram. So this is critical path, this one. So that can be represented by a thick line. So examiner or anyone can easily identify that this is the critical path. Now forward path. So forward path is what? In each and every network diagram we have to calculate or we have to determine the earliest start time and latest finish time. Okay, so in the determination of earliest start time of all the event is called forward path. Okay, so suppose the earliest time of activity number 2, earliest time of activity 3, 6, 9 and 10. So we have to find out the earliest start time from event number 1 to event number 10. That's why it is called a forward path. So from here to here. So it will goes from event number 1 to event number 10. So the determination of earliest start time, that is known as ES, of all the event is called forward pass. Why it is called forward pass? Because the calculation of earliest start time is from event number 1 to event number 10. So that is forward pass. So that's why it is known as forward pass. And backward pass. So as we had discussed that earliest start time ES can be find out from event number 1 to event number 10 in this direction. That's why it is known as forward path. But latest finish time, LF, latest finish time can be determined from the last event to first event. ES, earliest start time, can be find out from starting event to ending event, earliest start time. But latest finish time can be calculated from the last event to the first event. So this is the reverse or backward pass. That's why backward pass is what? Determination of latest finish time of all event is called backward pass. Okay, and the determination of earliest start time of all event is called forward pass. Now merge event. When two or more activity comes towards an event, two or more, keep in your mind, when two or more activity comes toward an event, this is an event, so these two activity comes towards the event, then it is called merge event. So this is merge event. Now burst event, when two or more activity leaves an event, then it is called burst event. Here this is an event, this is an event, and this is the two activity which is leaves the event. That's why it is called burst event. So merge event and burst event. And another case is merge and burst event. So in any one activity, some activity, two or more activity comes towards the event and some activity will leave the event. So it is called merge and burst event. Now the most important terms in the network diagram. Earliest start time, that is known as ES. So it is defined as the earliest possible time at which an activity can start. It is defined as the earliest possible time at which an activity can start. So at which time it is started, it is called earliest start time. And the latest finish time, the time by which a portion of a project must end. Means certain activity will finish in some time, then it is called latest finish time. Okay, and it is the equation to find out the earliest start time is this one, ESI, I means tail event, is equal to maximum of ES, earliest start time of tail event, plus Dij, means duration. This is called earliest start time of tail event, and Dij means duration. So this is the equation to find out the earliest time, and this is the equation to find out the latest finish time. So latest finish time of tail event is equal to minimum of latest finish time of head event minus Dij, means minus duration. Okay, just note it down. We'll elaborately discuss about this calculation or determination of these two time. Now see, this is a network diagram in which this is event, this is activity, this is also event. Here two events leaves, so it is called burst event. And here this is one event in which one event, two event and three event comes, so it is called merge event. Okay, so in network diagram in some event having merge event and some events are burst event. In this diagram also at the all event two square are there. Okay, this is the two square. So here first square represent the ES, earliest start time, and the lower square represent the latest finish time. Please keep in your mind, in this two square, this is first square represent the earliest start time, and the lower box or lower square represent the latest finish time. Okay, for all the nodes or all the event 1, 2, 3. Okay, for all the event there is a earliest start time and latest finish time. See, all event having the earliest start time, latest finish time. Okay, and the calculation for earliest start time and latest finish time is this. Suppose, as I told you in the previous slide, that the equation for earliest start time is ESJ is equal to maximum of ESI plus Dij, means earliest start time of J event is equal to maximum of ESI, earliest start time of tail event, plus duration. So consider the activity event number 2. Okay, so for event number 2, see in this figure, event number 2, suppose we have to find out this earliest start time. So as per our equations, ESI, so ESI for this activity, this is a head event and this is a tail event. So ESI, so in all the network diagram, the starting node having the zero value, of ES and LF. Okay, so ES, earliest start time, is 0 and latest finish is 0. So consider first earliest start time, consider the earliest start time is 0. Okay, this one. So as per our equation, 0 plus 2. This is the duration, activity duration 2. So 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. Okay, 0 plus 2. ESI plus duration of the activity is 2. So 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. And for event number 5, yes, this is event number 5. So for event number 5, what would be the earliest start time? The earliest start time of tail event. So tail event is this. So 2 plus duration 7. 2 plus 7 is equal to 9. So here 2 ESI plus duration 7 is equal to 9. Okay. So for J activity, 9 plus 5 is 14. But you have to take the maximum. At this event, 2 events comes. 2 events are coming. That's why you have to take the maximum value. Here 9 plus 5 is equal to 14. But here these events are also coming towards the event number 8. So 16 plus 4 is equal to 20. So take the maximum. Okay, here 14 and this is 16 plus this is 16 and this is duration is 4. So 16 plus 4 20. So take the maximum. Here also 2 events are coming. 2 activity are coming in this event. So take the maximum. So here earliest start time, take this one first. Earliest start time is 0 and duration is 4. 0 plus 4 means 4. And here another activity are coming toward the event number 4. So ES of this. So earliest start time is 5 and the duration is 5. So 5 plus 5 10. So take the maximum value. So 10 is there. So this is 10. Okay. So this is the calculation to find out the earliest start time. And the calculation for the latest finish time is latest finish time of event I is equal to minimum of latest finish time of event J minus duration. Okay, means see in this figure, yes, and latest finish time must be calculated from the last event. Earliest start time can be calculated from the first event and latest finish time can be calculated from the last event. So here suppose we have calculated 28 is the earliest start time. So the same time would be for latest finish time. So both are same, here 28, so latest finish time will be 28. Now find out the next. For event number 8, find out the latest finish time. So 28, this is the latest finish time, 28 minus duration 8 is equal to 20. Now find out for the 7 latest finish time of activity J. So 28 minus duration 12. So latest finish time is 16. Likewise you can find out the calculation for this. Okay, so up till now if you have any question then please ask me in my email address banker.svbit@gmail.com. In next lectures we will see another terms related to project management. Thank you very much all of you.